Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Champions Queue EUEdition. We're finally back after a little bit of a technical break because everyone had a little bit of disturbances. Back with Zanzarah, who is now in not in LEC, LEC. How do you feel?
Hi. Yeah, feels good. Feels great to be back. Yeah.
Apparently, as soon as Zanzarah enters LEC, the boss music immediately starts to play. Because you went 5 victories in a row, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't remember the score. I just, yeah, I mean, so basically we won like much more than we lost. So it's, yeah, pretty positive record.
Yeah, a positive win rate. That's the most important thing. And all the interviews also kind of see the influence there. Yeah. And well, interesting thing that is happening all across the globe now is that a lot of EUEdition are now having the finals, or already had the finals, since we're going to start with EU Masters very soon. And LEC playoffs are now starting, right? Next week, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the overall popularity of champions, because I presume EU Masters is going to be played on patch 12.14, right? Most likely.
EU Masters, I'm not sure, because right now it's like 15 patch, right? So.
Well, the actual patch is 12.15.
Yeah.
Finals of Ultraliga were played on 12.13.
Yeah, because it's like playoffs, but I think it's 15. It should be, no? Should be same as. Yeah, pretty sure. Why not? I mean, we skip. I assume we skip the patch because it was like a playoff, right? So basically, like most leagues, they're not changing patch during the playoffs. And right now, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the same for LEC playoffs. I think like we're not gonna go. Not gonna see like 16 patch in action. It's gonna be just like for like 17 for Worlds instantly.
Okay. Well, that actually means that we're gonna have Nyla all across the board. Did we have Nyla in LEC already or not?
Yeah, I think like Celt played it once. I'm not sure if they won or lost. But yeah, I mean, we saw a couple of that in LCK yesterday. But yeah, so far this champion doesn't really look that good.
No, okay. But I am very genuinely interested in what is going to be the shape of the meta as we go into EU Masters, because after the last time we spoke here on the podcast, it feels like we entered a very stable meta, and I feel like we didn't get out of the meta until the very finals, at the very least in the Reals. I don't know if you have the same feeling as I do, but there was no real like big how to put it, variety of champions. Pretty much everything stayed the same in a certain manner of it.
Yeah, I mean, for me it's kind of hard because like in LEC we're like preparing for like 15 patch for a long time, right? And I think cause most of UL finals were like on a 13 patch, whereas like still like NARGP Gwen is like a god tier champions, and you just like type them. Like 14, 15, there's like a bit difference. I mean, a bit different because champions got nerfed. So yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, like on the 13, like it was like kind of the same as before. You just like mostly on top lane prior picks like Gwen, GP Gnar. You just try to like trade them properly, and like in other lanes like other styles, right, like Tali. But yeah, like in LEC patch it was much different because we see much more things, right? After Gnar and GP getting nerfed, like Ornn shop again. We saw like a lot of Sejuani, someone even like try to play Cyan and this kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's like, I mean, I think like 15 patch gonna be like much more different compared to others. Like it's gonna like shift meta a lot. So we just kind of need to just see how it's gonna go and what people are gonna do it. And yeah, I mean, probably they're just gonna copy LEC and yeah. And then it is what it is, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them copy LEC, I guess. But we also had a lot of Sejuanis out there.
Yeah.
I presume in the playoffs it was like 7 times that she got picked, and I got to be honest, I'm not 100% bought on that pick. Maybe because out of all glacial prisons that have been thrown down, her ultimates, approximately 3 have hit the target. Maybe that's the reason.
And not the best. Not the best.
Just a little tiny bit. And also, like, a fair mention would be that there's also this holy trinity of junglers, right? Trundle, Poppy, Wukong, that kind of stay as this prior pick in the current state of the meta. Do you think that your boy Trundle is going to stay as the prior pick for 12.15?
I mean, yeah. I mean, right now I'm like. I mean, you like in 15, it's more like you're like Poppy Trundle, and usually just because there's like so many other broken picks, you just like trade them like 1 for 1, and you like just play something else. Because but if the both of them is out, you can play whatever. You can play like Wukong, Jarvan, and there's like many stuff you can go for. Especially, for example, Renekton show up on 15 a lot, as we saw like in LCK, for example. So you can play like Sejuani with Renekton. So there is like much more options after this two is out. But I mean, usually right now, from my experience, people just trading these junglers, and you're like happy to play both sides. You just need to be able to have like a bit like different drafts and like win conditions with these champions, then you can do it. I mean, from the jungle perspective, I don't think like much gonna change. I think people just keep gonna do like the same. If people were like playing Pokemon before, they're just gonna keep doing that.
Well, let's take a look at the overall showcase of the champions, because I'm going to focus, I guess, not primarily on the aerials as always, but be a little bit more focused on them with a few spicy things thrown now and there. And I'm interested to compare a little Ultraliga and LFL, actually. Something that you ran away from back to LEC, which I'm immensely happy for you. But because I feel like there's a lot of interesting similarities and a lot of very interesting difference. So when it comes to the top lane, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 unique champions in Ultraliga and 11 unique champions in LFL as well, right? We're talking only playoffs.
Yep.
The most popular, of course, is going to be Gnar, with 17 games in Ultraliga and 17 games in LFL, which is understandable, I presume.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
then closing off the top 3 is Sejuani and Gwen in Ultraliga, and Gwen and Sejuani in LFL. So it goes pretty much the same way, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like, they're like still one of the best champions, right? Some people even like ban Gnar, right? So then you can like much freely pick anything else.
It feels like it's such an important pick, especially because of the fact you can pretty much blind anything with Gnar. It's the most safest blind pick that you've got on the top lane, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, he didn't. I mean, in patch 14, he didn't have like any bad matchups, kinda, and he was like able to pressure lane while being really good in team fights also. So it was just like safe pick to just go for, and like you didn't really have like. I mean, people were kinda not ready to play like a super aggressive picks like Akshan into it, you know. Especially like in important games. So yeah, usually just get like free laning phase. Yeah.
I mean, we can ask Perks what happens if you play Action. Not exactly best things, but yeah, I feel like actually Action absolutely disappears. Like he was picked a few times, I remember, in LEC back in the day, maybe in LCK or something, but we don't see him anymore.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was like the same as like Lucian's story on solo lanes. So it's kind of really like high risk, high reward champion. And right now, because game is much slower, so People just prefer to just go to like scaling picks more.
Well, there's quite a bunch of interesting picks in Ultraliga more, because of course in fourth place you've got Gangplank, since it's another that's got tier champion. But then we've got a few Shivanas, we've got a few Urgots and a few Orns now and there. We've got a Kale, Camille, and a Kali, which pretty much feels the stable way. But LFL kind of surprises a little because GP, yeah, well, obviously. Then you've got Olaf, so I presume this is Adam playing Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure it's only Adam, yeah.
Then we've got a few Jaces, a few sets as well.
Yeah. I think like someone played it set and people. I mean, it's actually like also Adam. I think set. He was playing it also, but yeah. I mean set. I mean people just like try to look for like AD top laners. I think just support champs. You know, we saw like some Aatrox also recently. So yeah, people kind of just like trying to figure it out what AD champions you can play at top side.
I personally miss a lot of champions like Dr. Mundo. Like, I want them back, champions like that will survive through the entire team fight while laughing at you because you can't kill him.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he even got nerfed recently, so probably he's not coming back.
Stop breaking my soul! But I think that when it comes to the top lane and just in general, it feels really repetitive in a certain manner, because Gnar, of course, being pretty much the best champ or one of the best champions on the patches. He even dominates lanes with Ornn in there as well, even though I consider Ornn to be a bit of a more important pickup in a certain manner of it, especially because it gives you much more edges in team fights. But side lanes, Gnar does it better. Team fights, Gnar arguably does it better. And then when it comes to bullying tanks, then Gnar does it better, right?
Yeah.
And any other champion outside of Gangplank pretty much does the same thing. So, I don't know, I feel like top lane is mostly about you pick up one of these meta champions, then two people play their own game, and then as soon as they go and have a fight, then things start to look like a bit interesting.
I mean, it's like right now game is like just more about bot lane, I would say. So on top lane, just try to get like safe option, and then just like have a threat on the enemy AD carry, or just like be useful in team fights. So yeah, I mean right now there's like not many things. I mean you don't really play around top lane that much. This is why we don't see like Jace is like a lot, and also Jace got nerfed, you know. So basically we see like a lot of Ornns and Ronnie, you know, and like Gnar just because he's like self-efficient kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like there's no real need to stop on the top lane that too much, just because there's not really too much even to look at. I feel like jungle got a little bit in an interesting position because, well, we've got the Holy Trinity out there, of course. I mean, Holy Trinity is the Holy Trinity. You've got Trundle, Wukong, and Poppy, who were the strongest, the God tier junglers in N12.13. But then, as soon as you look a little bit more, I feel like there's much more champions that you can actually play, and they work, including Jarvan, including Kindred, including Diego and Vi and Lee Sin. There's quite actually a lot of things you can try and play.
I mean, Kindred you cannot play. They just these champions are not good. Like right now, they're just like basically not doing anything.
We've got 50% win rate in playoffs, okay?
But still, right? So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like I think basically right now on every role, this is like this. You have like from 2 to 3 picks. What is like kind as a god tier, right? You can mention them, but and other than that, if they're like out, you can just pick whatever you want. You know, it's like same. Like actually, it's like same for every role. You know, you have support, you have Renata, Yumi, right? And then you just pick whatever you want. You have AD carry, say receiver, and then if they're out, you just pick whatever you want. Mid lane, Azir, Talia. Jungle, yeah, as you said, like Poppy, Trundle thing. And right now, I mean, on 15th patch for top lane is a bit different. Like Gnar kind of went out, and right now it's like Renekton kind of took his place. Yeah, so basically you just have like a Rennington Ornn on top lane, and then if they're like both out, then you just play like 8 Roxette, like some even like crazy counter picks for some picks. So yeah, I mean, there is like I think it's like pretty good patch overall. To if you have like good like a good champion pool, you can use it like pretty efficient right now.
And that sort of like pretty much shows even at 12.13, I would say, because yeah, we still didn't went into this new meta of there's big picks and then you can pretty much pick whatever you want. But even in Ultraliga, even in LFL, I feel like there's quite a decent amount of variety, right? Because you've got Viego, for example, in LFL. It's been played quite a lot. It wasn't played in Ultraliga that much, but it was played in LFL. Or Vi had a bit more appearances in LFL than it had in Ultraliga, but it still was played. Or Jarvan. Belveth, I think she kind of didn't take off.
No, I mean,
I'm not sure.
From LFL, it's only LDLC who are playing Belvet, but LDLC yeah, I mean their playstyle is more they need like carry jungler. Otherwise they're gonna lose. This is why like we didn't really see like many like Trundle Poppy from them, but more like Wukong, Belvet, Viego, these kind of champions. So yeah, it's understandable, but it's still like Belvet right now looks really useless. I mean, if you play in solo queue, you always can like sneak up some kills, you know, and then be strong later on. But in competitive, if nothing happens, she's pretty weak, and yeah, you need to be really lucky to get like health on her.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't take off at all as much as that her kit looked interesting and appealing in a certain function of it. Right, because it offers something a little bit different to what we've got in the game. And then how to utilize that champion, especially in professional games. I don't feel like I know precisely. Even like teams that are objective audiences, right? When you've got things like Rogue, for example, they like to have strong macro, they like to do strong decisions on the map. But yet I don't feel like even they would have thought to just go, you know what, let's play Belveth over here. It sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is all Belveth is like make you play like 4v5 basically early game. And I mean, right now early game is even more important, especially on 15, because Herald buffed, right? Dragons buffed. Dragons is really important. Like every dragon get like significant buff for you, and you can like feel it in game. So yeah, if you even just like give 2 drakes, you know, if it's like mountain drake and if it's hextech drake, you like enemy team already getting like a lot of stats value, a lot of gold value from that. So yeah, it's I mean, we're like always saying how like game is kind of slow, right? And you can like pick scaling, but right now, yeah, if you just give up these early objectives, it's pretty tough to come back, even if you have like better scaling.
Yeah, an important thing to mention over here is that on patch 12.13, we still didn't have the rework of the neutral objectives. Right now, they're much more tankier. Right?
Yeah. I mean, only Drakes. So Herald is the same, but Drakes, like, yeah, the Drakes in general have, like, at the start of the game, you should have, like, just 2k more HP. A bit less damage, base damage, but as everyone knows, Drakes deals, like, percentage damage of your current HP. So basically, it's right now, you need to be, like, Warwick or, like, Vi to get solo Drake. Otherwise, you're just gonna die to it, because you're just, like, too healthy.
So that would lead me to a conclusion that most likely we're going to have a bit more fight for prio, especially bot lane and mid lane, right? Because you're still now you're forced to use the help of your teammates, right? So in order to bring down that Drake.
I mean, yeah, it was like it was. So basically, it's kind of you need like better windows to like move to get Drake. Right before, for example, you can actually literally just like push any wave and just go Drake and one shot it. But right now, if you're playing from blue side, you just need to you just need to put like a push cannon wave, and then you can do it. Like, and sometimes even with that, it's not like enough. But yeah, it's like Drax is much harder like to get. I mean, some teams who are like if you have like equal drafts on both sides, usually Drake's just like staying for like 15 minutes just because nobody can take it, you know. But for example, as before, if you don't take early Drake, you kind of just keep ignoring them. Right now, you're like, oh, okay, we have good window, just take Drake, you know. If it's like if it's mountain, it give you like 9% of my armor MR, like just for one Drake. So it's like actually a really good value.
Yeah.
And overall, right now, people don't. I mean, they care about soul, right? But it's I think just like single Drake is really good also.
Yeah, that sort of leads me to a suggestion that maybe we'll see a bit more junglers that will have fast clears, you know, to get tempo, to get to a point where you're going to be a bit stronger, and then try to fight for Prior, and then try to fight for Drakes. That maybe that
no. It's it's like makes sense, right? But it's more right now. It's still game more like centric around like AD carries. So you can pick like fast clear junglers, right? And play Prior, try to play for Drakes, but I still remember it's like early games Drake has like basically a double HP. Before it was like 3.6, and right now it's like 5.5. So it's even if you have Prior, like enemy can catch the wave, just go on you and kill you. But basically right now it's still around AD carry meta, so you just pick jungle to like help your AD carry to carry the game, or just punish enemy AD carry. So this is how like right now jungle works, and this is why we see like the Jarvan, Strandal, Swampy, all these junglers, they're like really good in the early game, right? I mean, they're not fast clear, right? But they're pretty strong in skirmishes and stuff. So even if enemy have like faster clear, right, and they start Drake, you're just ready to fight, because even if you have like level disadvantage, you can just one shot the guy.
That probably is the reason also why Vi gets picked up quite a lot, right? Because
he's got fighting potential. Yeah. I mean, basically, Vi is like the only champion who can consistently CC Zeri. Any other jungle champion, like besides, we don't count Poppy, right? Because Poppy is usually out. But yeah, Poppy and Vi is only jungle champions who are kind of like irrelevant versus Zeri. Any other champions is completely useless, and you cannot do anything versus it. I mean, this is why we see Vi that much. And I mean, also. Yeah, I mean, Skarner is a counterpick to Poppy, yeah. I mean, it's like pretty good, working pretty well, especially right now, for example, in like 15 patch, when we see more Renekton's coming out, and like overall just like more AD picks, like Sett and Aatrox, so you can basically just pick like a Skarner and like AP mid lane, and it's not gonna hurt you, like in general, not gonna hurt you in draft. And like damage distribution, but it's like still like blind Skarner, not the best probably.
Yeah, blinding Skarner is never exactly a good thing, even if you're playing solo queue, to be fair.
Yeah,
but it warms their heart a little bit to see Skarner making his way back in. It's always very, very fun to see people get impaled and then almost instantly one-shotted.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting disturbances and interesting turbulences coming into the jungle. I'm really curious to see how exactly it's going to shape, or if it just absolutely like stays sort of the same. Mid lane is another quite an interesting lane, because I feel like everybody sort of plays their own gig. Like in Ultraliga, for example, we had an extreme prio around Azir, right?
Yeah.
LFL, they literally played 3 games of Azir. And it was only 4 bans of Azir as well. So I'm kind of curious to understand why is that, because it suits the current meta, right? The shuffle is just extremely good tool, pretty much whenever you're doing whatever. But not a lot of prio from a lot of players.
I mean, overall, like from my perspective, I feel like pretty strong right now. So basically, it secures you early push against most of the things, right? And also, it has like one of the best scalings in game. So yeah, I mean, Azir is pretty strong, especially if you can get like Poppy or Trundle, right, with both of these champions. He's synergized pretty well. and basically if you get one of them, you can't really lose to mid. But yeah, I mean the thing is, right now it's more about like some people like they just prefer to play, for example, like Silas into Azure. Silas is pretty decent matchup. Yes, he get pushed in, but he's like stronger in early fights. And if you're able to get like good jungle matchup, you can just like fight your way versus Azure. But yeah, I mean this is what like usually people do, and I think this is what people we see in LFL. Like, if people pick Azure, they just match with like Silas or Ari and just try to like fight him a lot, and then they're gonna like struggle if he dies like once or twice, especially versus like Assassin. Then it's pretty hard to get like get away back. And I think in Ultraliga people still kind of like struggling to counter him like this. But in LFL we see like more and more people, like especially like LDLC, Iker, they are pretty good right now, like just playing aggressive like champions and just like punishing through mid jungle.
It feels like also picking up Silas is an extremely good idea if your opponent runs Gnar or Ornn in the top.
I mean,
lane.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically, like every like top lane champ right now gives like really good tools for Silas, and yeah, it's you don't. I mean, you don't really. I mean, usually people ban Silas on second rotation if it's not picked in first, just because there are like too many things.
Yeah,
too many like good things for
like
him.
You are practically, if you're getting allowed and you see your enemy picking, for example, Azir or Gnar, right? Either of these two combos, then you pretty much should go Silas, just because it allows you to do so many more things in those team fights. And as soon as you reach the power spike, the 2 items power spike, I would dare to say you're even stronger in those fights and skirmishes until the late game where Azir just scales up to infinity and then kills people.
Yeah. I mean, basically what Azir provides, he just provides push, but he is not that strong. Like, if you can get on him, you're not that strong. So basically this is what like people do in LFL and like around the world. They just try to get like a lot of picks to just like go on him. Like if you have like Vi, Silas, right, then it's like pretty hard already for Azir to play the game.
Another champion that receives a lot of popularity is Taliyah. Actually, we saw her getting picked up in both jungle and mid, but I feel like in jungle she wasn't that strong. I mean, maybe it's just Ultraliga that kind of makes me think like that. But I feel like mid is the lane where she's the strongest at the moment.
I mean, the problem with Taliyah, she's like really weak early game. She's like one of the weakest champions in the early game. So basically, usually you just put it in like mid lane because she scales with levels and gold really hard. So you just want to get like funnel this into her like as fast as possible. If you put it in jungle, especially if you play versus like top tier junglers like Wukong, right, Poppy Trundle, then it's like it can end up pretty bad because so you basically playing 4v5. Taliyah basically is like a velvet, in jungle. Even if she hit full combo on you, it do like 200 damage, and like people don't care, and you have like 12 seconds cooldown on it. So yeah, I mean, this is why we see like usually on mid lane. But yeah, I mean, on patch 15, it's got nerfed a bit, and we don't see it that much. And I think Taliyah has like similar problem with Azir, but she's like forcing prior, right? But she's like not strong to fight. So yeah, we saw a lot of people like picking just same like Silas are into it, and just winning. Just because I mean, yeah, if you win like mid jungle, you can always move to like sides, right? Play for Drake's Herald, especially like right now Herald, right? Give extra like 200 gold local. So it's actually like if you get Herald, basically you get like a lot of gold like instantly.
And the thing I see between like Azir and Taliyah being that ultimate of Azir is just in my eyes more beneficial and more utilize. It's easier to utilize in a certain manner than Weaver's Wall, just because.
I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, it's like it doesn't require you to have to. I mean, Italia wall is have like you can use like many ways, right? And it can be like really powerful. But I guess I mean, and we saw it especially like in LCK, right? When like people just getting objected just because of the wall.
Yeah.
But of course, like I think if you talk about like ARL level, I think it's for sure for people just easier to play Azure, and I think in general Azure was like more in meta than Talia, so people kind of had like more games in general on Azure than Talia. So for them, it's much. I mean, they feel much more comfortable in this champ to like do plays.
Interestingly enough, in Ultraliga, yes, you're absolutely correct. It's 13 games of Azir and 7 games of Talia, but in LFL, it's 14 games of Ari and 12 games of Talia. But Ari,
Yeah.
I feel like she's still there because she counters or provides very good laning against a lot of different champions. So
Yeah.
you just pick her instantly if you like quote unquote don't know what to pick.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, it's like also we need to count what like Ari kind of good into Azir and into Talia. So basically, yeah, this is like the main answer, and you don't like Azir is good into Talia from what I know. So basically, if you see Talia, you can pick Azir. But if, for example, if you don't want to play Azir for some reason, right, you just go like Silas or Ari. But I think especially in LFL, with so much more like people prioritizing Ari just because she's a bit like stronger in early game. She has much safer, right? She has pretty strong roams. So yeah, this is why I think we have like much more priority on this picks.
Outside of that, I feel like it's pretty, I don't want to say basic, but it's pretty understandable. We've got heavy scaling picks like Corki, like Victor being pretty much present.
I mean, they're always here.
Yeah, they're reliable in a certain manner of it. You've got Veigar occasionally being thrown now and there as well, which is pretty much the same deal. Silas we already discussed. There is sometimes Swain. I feel like this sort of incredible hype around Swain got disappeared.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's still not
yeah. I mean, Swain is more. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick him in this meta thing because, yeah, I mean, like Azir, I think like Swain into Azir or Tari is actually pretty bad because you don't really punish them early game. You kind of just give them like free scale, and then how it's called, and then yeah, they just outscale you and stomp you. But so basically, actually, the funny part is like Swain actually pretty good into Ari. But we don't see many like blind picks either. Sometimes we see and Swain pop off, right? But not many of it we saw recently. So yeah, this is why like Swain is a bit like outside of the meta. I think if like Talia already got nerfed, maybe if Isaac gonna get nerfed again, then probably maybe he can rise because I think like champion is strong, but it just like meta is not friendly for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, especially also we saw Silas, and if Silas takes Swain ultimate, or it's like Silas just gonna be better Swain. This is the thing.
No.
So yeah, it's it's just like we saw actually in LCK, I think they were picking Swain into Ord on top lane, and I liked it pretty I liked it because you can just like much scaling, right? I mean, Ornn provides just a bit different things, but if you have like already other source of engage, you can do that. But yeah, like on Milan, I think is pretty hard to just get it right now for free.
I feel like in LCK, they just in general come up with incredibly strange things, but I just love them because I feel like they were one of the people that even started this whole idea of okay, we can actually pick Silas right now because we've seen quite a bunch of times Silas picked into Gnar, and it worked, right?
Yeah,
and it worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's even better after like on 15, after Gnar nerfed, right? He has like less basic HP, less HP region, so Silas even better into that. But yeah, I mean, right now there's a problem. There is like too many good AP champions, so you can like end up with like 4 AP champions in game, and it's like, and because for example, like for the tanks, Force of Nature is pretty strong right now as an item. If you just get one item, you're not getting damaged by AP damage at all. So yeah, like you don't want to go like heavy AP. Like even right now, usually what we see, we have like double AP, right? Like top mid usually is AP, and yeah, I mean if you have to go like, I mean sometimes you have to go like AP jungle, right? Like Skarner and stuff. Then yeah, then it's like pretty tough.
And one last thing that is there, and I feel like it's just worth mentioning. In Ultraliga, there was this very huge prio around Seraphine. She was constantly banned, almost like constantly, and 2 times picked only as a mid lane pick. In LFL, I believe she didn't make the appearance almost at all in the mid lane. Only one game on bot lane. And
I mean, she got nerfed. I think she got nerfed. Like after her like first buff, people were like prioritizing, and she was like pick or ban, right?
Yeah.
But then later on, we got back like Sivir, right? Zeri. That is just like AD carry just too strong, so you don't really want to put it on bot, and on mid, like yeah, just pick Azir or Talia over Seraphine. They're just gonna do like kind of the same job, right? But better.
It's just an interesting thought to throw in there since we had a lot of priority around that champion. Now, moving on to the bot lane. First, through AD carries. I mean, holy mother of God, how many carry picks we've got there. It's Draven, it's Zeri, it's Kalista, it's Twitch, it's Severe, it's Jinx still sometimes as well, right? It's just so many champions that are so heavily oriented about being the carry for your team and the hyper carry for your team.
Yeah, yeah.
And if in case you haven't seen, then I highly encourage you to go and take a look at the few last of the Fanatics games. I know that hurts you a little. I understand. But you've got to give those two props, Hilly and Upset, because the way they made Talia work, not Talia, I'm sorry, Zeri, it was good.
Yeah. I mean, for now, it looks like it's like only thing what is working for Fnatic is Zeri. So, yeah, I mean, at least something, right?
Are you giving away the 100 win rates stat? Just ban Zeri?
Yeah, but DrBrilmann Zeri. It's simple as that.
Okay, LEC teams, I hope you heard that. Because apparently Zanzarah just spilled the beans over there and decided to tell you what's the win condition against Fnatic. But, I mean, I feel like we entered a very interesting state of a meta in that particular regard for bot, from entertaining points of view, right? Because as much as there's so many interesting strategic picks on different lanes, on the bot lane, it feels like it allows certain AD carries to open up their superstar potential. And it allows you to have these incredible moments when you have Draven, who is like solo carrying the game, or Zeri, who's solo carrying the game, or Kalista that just decimates pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Draven, I think, even like someone was like showing it on Twitter, Draven had like 60% ban rate in Challenger. In general, he's like pretty strong, you can actually blind it, and he's like smashing every AD carry. The thing is, like, he's especially good into like God tier AD carry right now, into like Sivir and Zeri. He's just like hard winning lane, and then if he gets like 1 kill, you just basically lose the game instantly because you're gonna have like 2 items advantage on your AD carry. Yeah, and I mean, usually right now, if someone is playing Draven, you just permaban this champion. You don't want to deal with that at all.
Yeah,
and I mean, other than that, we just from a DK position, we just like Sivir Zeri handshake, right? If someone is out, we just pick Aphelios, Jinx sometimes. I think some people keep like playing Ezreal, but I think it's just like the worst compared to other. So yeah,
there's also Misfortune now and there, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how good she is in the contemporary state.
Yeah. I mean, I heard, I was like talking with some people, and they like think, because you can like play lane bully right now, right, with MF, and actually it's also important to remember what like bot's second win got nerfed, right? So all like sustain things got nerfed.
Yeah.
And it's could affect this kind of like champions like MF who really want like bully you out of the lane. So yeah, there is a like high chance like we're gonna see more MF. Not sure how she works like into Sivir Zeri, but if she has like decent matchup, we can see much more I think of this pick.
I mean, it feels like as soon as you go in big team fights, and especially later on in the game, Sivir and Zeri should just roll over Misfortune, especially because against Misfortune, if you pick up Brom, then you sort of neglect the ultimate, right?
I mean, yes. I mean, of course, it's not like carry pick. You're probably gonna need like carry on mid lane, like Azir or Korki, right?
Yeah.
With this, and then you just, as you said, like you just use like early advantage from RMF to get like heralds and drakes, and then you kind of should like start the game with like 3k gold lead. Then it's like understandable if you have like MF like one item more, right? She can still like be much more useful than anything else. But yeah, it's of course this pick is like a bit like different compared to what we see right now. We see more like hyper carries like Affair, Jinx, right? Zarya, Sivir, who are like just like 2v8 team fights. Also like Yumi hyper, right? And all of the champions benefits from this champion pretty hard. So yeah,
I mean, support guts a little bit changed, I'd say, regarding of what we usually see. I mean, Nautilus and Renata together with Yumi, I feel like that is the holy trinity of support, right?
Yep.
Because they all three are sort of a little bit different, and they provide exactly what most of the times you just need into the current team compositions. Yumi, just because it works really well with pretty much any hyper carry. Renata, because it's an incredible team fighter with I am the ambassador of your sayings, the best ultimate in the game. Right?
Yeah.
And Nautilus, I mean, hard engage is never bad, right? Especially as tanky as Nautilus is. And the fact that he has damage in early game allows you to try and push for those early wins. But there's still quite a variety of things you can use, no? I mean, Lulu, Leona, Nami to pair it up with Lucian, yeah. Amumu is sort of like gaining back his place.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of champions, like, as you said, right, like, Lulu's pretty strong, I think, in my opinion, right now. She basically do, like, kind of same job as Yumi does, but a bit, like, worse, right? But the advantage of Lulu, she can actually, like, participate on the map, like, early on, so you can play, like, mid, support jungle, pretty efficient, just help, like, other lanes to survive. And then, yeah, I mean, Amumu I kind of like, right, because it's similar to Leona, right? Pretty hard, like, engage champion, but the problem is, like, if people get clans, then it's kind of easy to get out, and then you're not that, like, efficient. But yeah, I mean, usually as I said, because of like carry meta, we see more like Arden support, like Lulu, Yumi, right? And then if enemy, for example, have Zeri, you kind of need to go Nautilus because it's like only champion who can kind of do something to her.
At least something, yeah. There's not a lot of different choices out there. We've seen some occasional Thrashes out there, but I feel like Thresh is in a very bad state of a meta. I mean, he's still useful just because of what kind of a kid he has. But there's just champions that do his job better.
I mean, we saw it like from Axel, right? From Mickey, it's kind of his like signature pick. And I mean, I don't think Thresh is that good right now. I think it could have a place, but I think he's not really engaged, right? But he's not even like feeling that good. So he just basically like in the middle, and he's not doing good anything. So basically, people just prefer to just pick like, if you need to engage, just pick like Nautilus, Leona, Mumu, right? If you want to peel, just pick Lulu. And then you're hyper, like Tamkinch, right? We saw a lot of Tamkinch also.
Yeah. There's also, in LFL, there was a lot of Rakans. But I feel like Rakan is a bit odd. I don't know. Like,
no, I mean, I think Rakan is good. I think Rakan... I mean, the thing is, like, if you talk about, like, Leona, Nautilus, Amumu, they're kind of, like, primary engage champions, right? And Rakan is more, like, secondary, so it's good if you have, like... champions to go in, like, Silas, right, with Rakan. Yeah. And then he's just gonna, like, follow up on it. I mean, the advantage of Rakan, he kind of don't get, like, countered by clans that hard. and it's like much easier. I mean, much harder to block his engage in his flanks. But yeah, I think in general. I think in general
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I think it's like also we should it's like important to understand the preference of the players. I think, especially like in LFL, right? DOS, he's like really like to play Rakan, right? Other people, there's like just a lot of like Rakan players in LFL.
I mean, there was Jacktro who always loved to play Rakan back in the day. Not that much anymore, but he did. Although I believe one of his like big picks is Leona. But the reason why I'm saying that is a bit odd, because I want to see more. I love when I see Rakan in games, just because I love to see people making crazy things with Rakan. But it feels like really often players just decide, you know what, let's go with something a bit more safer. Let's go with something that will definitely give us an edge in those games. While Rakan is not this definite thing, right? You have to be very, very good with the way how you execute the space in team fights in order for things to work.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, of course, it's much harder to execute. You know, you need to. I mean, you need to know what you're doing with this kind of a champions, right?
Where's the Hilly when you need him? But that is pretty much how the meta looks at the current state, and I feel like, well, let's put it this way. So you have been in the Rails, right?
Yeah.
Now you're back in LEC. I've been with 2 professional splits now with Ultraliga. So to sum up this meta that we had in the regular split and then in the playoffs, what do you think? Was it enjoyable?
It was enjoyable. Yeah. It was ups and downs. It was. I mean, it was pretty fun experience. Let's put it like this.
10 out of 10 would recommend one more time, or eh?
I mean, maybe not 10 out of 10, you know, but yeah. Maybe once in a while I can repeat.
You are at 10, but Zanzarah doesn't like you that much.
Yeah.
But I feel like the durability patch was fun, like the way when everything just shaped in there, and I feel like thanks to the meta, we had a lot of players shine again, and that's, I think, is an important part.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think right now, especially if you have like signature picks, it's much easier for you to like shine and just like get them. You know, you're not really like that locked into meta, so you can always get like what you think is like can be really good, you know, and team can draft. This is why we see like a lot of like different drafts from like all around the world from the teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like this meta. I think just you can just play whatever you want. You don't really like feel pressure to just like play like 2 champions per man, and yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's go to the traditional. I think we broke the tradition 1 time or 2 times, but it doesn't matter. It's the tradition. Let's go to the traditional tier list for best champions on 12.15, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so all ranks, all across the board, rated by S+ tier, and it's UGG. So at the first place, with win rate of 52.27%, we've got Mordekaiser.
Nice.
Second place.
Good for Mordekaiser.
Yeah, second place. Now, don't laugh, otherwise you're going to wake someone up. We've got Teemo with 51.18% win rate.
No, not bad. I mean, Teemo is actually like maybe it's good Teemo. Maybe people just like sleeping in it.
Are we gonna see Teemo jungle in LEC playoffs?
Definitely not the jungle, you know, but who knows?
On the third place, we've got Garen with 52.01% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, I saw like some Garens, but it's probably one trick point is just who's giving him this win rate.
People who play a lot of Garen, apparently.
Yeah.
And on the fourth place, we've got Ilyalioi
Yeah.
She's 51.39% win rate. I mean, And then
Yeah.
Yorick, it's 52.06% win rate. I mean, Yorick
And
is
nothing,
Yorick.
yeah, nothing special, just a solo queue thing.
Yeah, and he's relatively fun. So, coming to the jungle, this is where things getting interesting. So, at the first place with 52.26% win rate, it's Master E.
Oh, yeah, I mean, against after like his recent buffs, actually, like he started like popping off in solo queue like much more, I think. But he always like it was pretty good, I think, in solo queue.
I can't say I like that. Not really, but okay. On second place, we've got Diana with 52.31% win rate.
Yeah, I mean Diana, especially like with the tank build, she seems like pretty strong, and they're right even like nerfing it, I think, next patch. So they're
12.16.
directly. Yeah.
Third spot, Belveth with 51.84% win rate.
No, I mean, as I said, like in solo queue, you can get away. I mean, this kind of a champion, he's like snowballing really hard if you get like some of the free kills and able to get like health. But yeah, I mean, if you don't get that, you are pretty doomed.
Good luck, have fun, apparently.
Yeah.
And the fourth spot is Kane with 51.24% win rate.
I mean, yeah, just a game thing.
Kane is fun. Like when back in the day when I was playing a lot of jungle, I thought that Kane was extremely fun.
I mean, Kane is fun to play, yeah. It's just not fun for your team to have Kane.
That is true, but since when do I care about my team in solo queue?
Yeah, true.
Now coming to the mid lane, on the first spot of S plus tier, we've got Zed with 50.91% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that one. Probably guys don't pick that anyway.
Then we've got Vex, 51.63% win rate.
Yeah, she actually like pretty good into Salas, I think, as a counter, and we see like a lot of like melee mid lane. Yeah.
And she's quite strong just in general, I would say.
Yeah.
Then we've got Victor with 51.87% win rate. I mean, understandable, I would say.
Yeah.
Bot lane. Well, of course it's Sivir. Like, of course it's Sivir.
Zanzarah probably.
Actually, no.
No, sad. I think maybe people in solo queue not that good on Zanzarah.
I mean, fair to speak, she's not exactly one of the easiest of the champions, I think.
I mean, yeah.
Like, Sivir is easier in my eyes than Zeri to utilize.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So you've got 52.28% win rate on Sivir. Pretty much understandable. She's just a good well-rounded pick. Then you've got Samira, 14% win rate.
I mean, yeah, actually, like I saw, like people are trying to play Samira more, especially like into champs like Sivir and Zeri. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, Samira in solo queue, everyone knows, right? It's like 20-0.
But like, explain me that thing, please. I mean, you're a professional player. No, okay. I'm gonna push it even further. You're my friend, okay? So explain me this.
No man.
Explain me that. Why are people so afraid of Samira? I feel like she's a champion that is quite easily countered, isn't she?
I mean, yes. This way we don't see it in competitive, but solo queue. The problems of this champions, they get countered by team play, but in solo queue there is no team play. So.
Okay, fine, fair. Then we've got Nyla. 52.22% win rate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I saw especially like Nyla Tariq, I think, pretty strong right now.
Ooh.
So people like playing it, still in competitive. I mean, there's basically Nyla is like Samira, right? It's just a bit different, but it's basically Samira. So.
Yeah, she's very close.
Yeah,
I was so excited when they announced it because I thought we're gonna have Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Then I saw the whip and I'm like, what did they do to my girl? Then we've got Misfortune. It's 51.96% win rate. Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already discussed about
Yeah.
Misfortune, right?
Then we've got Draven, 50.19% win rate. I mean, again, I think understandable because it's
Yeah,
Draven.
I mean, Draven is has insane ban rate right now. I think he's was the strongest indicator probably right now on a patch.
Interestingly enough, when it comes to bans, 2 most banned champions, all ranks on bot lane is Yasuo 27.7 and Samira 26.2.
Yeah, but his all ranks doesn't count.
I feel like Zanzarah is there just dying inside, hearing all these people.
I ban Trundamir every game, so I'm happy with this choice.
Oh, okay. And last for AD carry is Jhin with 51.20%. Actually, I miss Jhin. I love when people are playing Jhin. I genuinely
Yeah,
do.
I mean, not his kind of a meta right now, but I guess he can play it.
And now support. Morgana. 51.24% win rate.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she's good in pair with Draven into any Nautilus, Leona, I guess. So.
And I mean, again, ask Healy. He'll gonna tell you how fun is Morgana.
Yeah.
Then there's Brand, 52.24%. Are we back in the meta when Brand is being played on the bot lane?
Yeah, why not? Could be good. I mean, he has a lot of damage, right?
I mean, yeah, fair. Okay.
Yeah, we just play MF Brand. How can enemy lane? They cannot.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Then we've got Lux with 50.71% win rate.
No, I mean, I think Lux basically is the same Arden support, right?
Yeah.
Just a bit worse than Yumi and Lulu, but it's more aggressive. I guess this is why people like it in solo queue especially.
Support Xerath with 51.95% win rate.
That's a good one, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're a mid laner, you got after field, you just go Xerath support. You don't need dedicated, right? You do more damage anyway.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah.
Then we've got Zyra with 52.40% win rate. I mean, she's strong. She's just strong all across, I would say.
I didn't see that for a long time, so I'm not sure. Definitely not on the challenger level, this champion.
Let me see. Challenger. No, she is. She's got the highest win rate on the challenger. Challenger, 55.42. As a tier, no, she's not the best. There's Piker, Blasket, Jan, and Lulu.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 people playing it, but then, yeah. I mean, I didn't see for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually,
you're true. You're absolutely correct. Pick rate 1.1%, matches 240.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, the most played is Lulu, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then we've got, I'm sorry. We've got Amumu, 52.15% win rate. I mean, Amumu's Amumu.
Yeah, it's pretty strong on solo queue, especially. It's actually
double bandage toss.
Yes, bandage toss, AoE ultimate, bonus magic bonus true damage on magic damage, really good.
Yeah. And as the last two sort of end the list here is Swain with 51.57% win rate.
Interesting.
I think there's actually in solo queue it's quite popular to play Swain support, I would say.
I mean, I didn't see that much, but maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It kind of my gut tells that I'm not that surprised. Don't know why. But there you have it, folks. This is the S plus tier list of champions you should play in solo queue to win. Always ban Zeri when you're playing against Fnatic, and if you need a Rakan, call Hylissang.
Yeah, or not. Up to you.
And there you have it, folks. With that being said, we would like to forbid our goodbyes just for a little bit longer period of time. Because in front of Zanzarah, he's got playoffs of LEC to get ready to. And we wish you all the good fortune in making sure that Misfits are going to Worlds. I mean, I'm cheering, okay? I'm cheering, I'm supporting.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, I hope I can do that, yeah, and just, yeah, going to Worlds for the first time would be a good achievement for this year.
I really certainly hope so. And because of that, we're going to go on a little bit of a break. So, season 1 just ended of our podcast. Can we get these things that you have on birthday that you blow into and they go with the
Yeah, but we'll see. We can do it at the start of the season 2.
Yes, yes, and balloons. I love balloons.
Yeah.
But take care of yourself, lads. Get ready for season 2 of the podcast, and we'll see you next time, whenever that next time is going to be.
Yeah. See you guys.